When is it gonna end, Robbie?
Fucking useless. It's disgusting!
Same.
Get fucked, will you?
That was so sad.
Oh no. You don't care.
I care,
You're
Chef.
way behind and you haven't got a fucking clue. Can we work together as a team?
Fucking hell, Robbie! When is it gonna end?
You're an absolute disgrace.
When is it gonna end? Fuck off!
I give up. I give up. I give up. You may as well just use my video from a couple of days ago against Fleetwood. Cardboard copy. The exact same thing. Burton Albion. Burton Albion. Bottom of the league. 24th in League One. They've beat us twice this season. Burton Albion. They beat us 2-1 last night. Still hasn't sunk in yet. I didn't even want to watch the game last night. Didn't even want to watch it, but I couldn't not watch it. I got pulled in because I love this club. Maybe a bit too much. 4 wins at home out of 15. 22 conceded in our last 8 home games. That is just under 3 goals conceded every match. We are 17th in the form table. 9th place in League One. 5 points off the playoffs, with the team in 6th, Doncaster, having 3 games in hand on us. We are 4 points off 15th. In our 20 plus years of being in the 3rd tier throughout our history, we have never had more than a 6-game winless run at home. That defeat last night has now made that 7 games at home without a win this season, which is a record. It's the first time we've ever done that since 1921. I don't know the history in terms of us being in the 4th tier. I don't know if we've ever been in the 4th tier. But to my understanding, we are officially on the worst run of form at home ever in the club's history. It is a disgrace. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating. And I struggle to defend it anymore. Every week my patience is tested because I've seen no improvements from December onwards. All season we've been poor. We've been below par. We've been terrible all season. But from December to today, it's been a disaster. From the moment I saw that lineup, I was thinking, this can't end well. This cannot end well. To be honest with you, I thought the attack was the only decent part of that lineup. It was a front three: Liam Millar, Jayden Stockley, Diallang Jaiyesimi. Jaiyesimi getting his first start for the club. The attack I had no problems with whatsoever. I saw the rest of that team. Famewo dropped, which to be honest makes sense. Probably taking precautions with him. We can't be too... You can only be so careful with him, you know. So Pearce comes back in. Instant red flag for me. And then Pratley and Maatsen are back in the same team together. I know Jake Forster-Caskey's injured. Where is Albie Morgan? Why isn't Matt Smith starting instead of those guys? Or at least one of those guys. You play at least one of those guys in holding midfielder. And you have 2 creative central players. And then have that front three. Play a 4-3-3. But no. It was a back 5. It was a back 5. Matthews and Purrington at wing back. I didn't really have a problem with Matthews at wing back because he likes to get forward and he's fast. Purrington at left back I can manage. Him at left wing back I was thinking, I'm not too keen on this, to be honest. I'm not too keen on that. Pratley was playing centre back. In terms of the game, it was basically the exact same story against Fleetwood. In that we started well. Again, we looked good. We started well. Hit the bar through Stockley, I think it was. It was a header. Keeper saved it onto the bar. And then it was Stockley that took the lead. His 4th goal in 6 games for us now. Andrew Shinnie crosses it in. Stockley heads it. Shinnie has assisted all 4 of Stockley's goals. I think we found a new SAS partnership there between those two. Andrew Shinnie and Jayden Stockley. And they're the only 2 players I can give plaudits to. Not just for this game, but for last game and maybe a couple of games before that as well. They're the only 2 players that I can really say actually tried and played well and tried to do things. After we scored, we continued to hammer Burton. We hit the bar again through Andrew Shinnie from a free kick. It was an unbelievable free kick. And we were still coming forward. And then eventually, probably around the 17th minute, 20 minute mark, we went flat. We let them in the game. They had a couple of shots. I think they hit the side netting. And then eventually they equalised. With quite possibly the most humiliating goal to concede from a defensive point of view. Cross come in on the left-hand side. Absolutely no one went towards that cross. No one even bothered trying to close that down. He's chipped it in the air, a floater, across the box. And there's their striker, Dunlop, I think his name was, beat Purrington to a header with Oshilaja standing behind him. And he beats two defenders to score a header from 2 yards out. This is quite possibly the worst defence I have ever seen in my years supporting Charlton. Or at least for a very long time. It's getting boring now. It's getting boring and it's getting predictable. This defence is absolutely horrific. It's abysmal. And it astonishes me. Because it was a back five yesterday. It was a back five. 2 fullbacks, 2 centre-backs, and 2 holding midfielders. And it is still stupidly easy for teams to score against us. And it's even more humiliating when that's bottom of the league doing that against us. Beating 2 of our defenders from a looping cross which wasn't cut out from 2 yards out. And that second half, oh my... Like I said, cardboard copy from a couple of days ago. Cardboard copy. What is Bowyer saying to them in those half-time tea talks to come out in that second half and just look like they don't give a shit? You know there's a problem when our only decent threat in that second half was Ben Purrington. Purrington had a shot saved, I think he hit the side netting. But that was all we had. Our left-back, once again, we concede an absolute worldie. How many times are we going to concede a worldie? I'm sick of it now. This Rowe geezer just takes it from inside his own half. Composes himself, finds space, turns inside, has a shot on the left foot, takes a ridiculous deflection. I think it actually comes off Ben Watson's arm. It takes the most ridiculous deflection I've ever seen. Loops over Ben Amos and finds the top corner. 2-1 Burton. It's shocking. It's a shambles. It's horrific. It's terrible. It's a disgrace. Bottom of the league. Bottom of the league. Tin pot fucking Burton Albion have done the double over us this season. You tell me how I'm supposed to defend that. I almost find it borderline impossible to defend it. Some of those players are not fit to wear the shirt. It's simple. In the summer, there's only a handful of those players I'd keep. There's only a handful of them. The CAFC hashtag on Twitter absolutely exploded after last night. Not surprised. Emotions would have been high. But I was very quick to use it and to voice my opinion and how I felt about the game. After looking at the Charlton's official Twitter page from the tweet after the game ended, the replies are flooded with people that are now starting to realise. With people that are now starting to take a turn. They're starting to sway one side than the other. And that's towards the Bowyer outside. A lot of people are starting to see it now. So many people are now thinking, okay, maybe now the line's been crossed. Maybe now it's time to actually consider and to actually be concerned about Lee Bowyer as our manager. And if I'm being completely honest, with my full honest opinion, I'm one of those fans. I'm starting to see it. I'm being swayed to that side. I think Bowyer is running his course. Maybe he has run his course. He's running out of time. And maybe he's out of time to fix this. Maybe it's too late. Last night was quite possibly the most deluded, the most baffling, the worst post-match interview Lee Bowyer has ever given as Charlton manager. If I'm honest, I could not believe what I was hearing. I couldn't believe it. He actually stood there on Valley Pass Live with Scott Minto and Alan Kirbishley and said, he never makes excuses. Excuse me? That's all you've done all season. You never ever take responsibility for your mistakes or for a defeat. It's always someone else's fault. Against MK Dons, you blame the fans for not being loud enough. Against Shrewsbury, you blame Johnny Williams for backing out of a tackle. Against Accrington, you didn't care that Maddison got an injury. I could go on. But I don't really want to. Because I just can't be asked to repeat the absolute delusion that this man has. And it got worse. You thought that was bad. He actually stood there and said that that was a game that we dominated and we lost. You can have as much of the ball as you like. We had 62% possession, so we dominated possession. You can have as much of the ball as you want. If you do nothing with it, you don't deserve to win the game. Burton had more shots than us last night. We had 10, they had 11. You call that second half domination? Are you sick in the head? You're losing the plot, mate. You are absolutely losing the plot. He would have been lucky to come away with a point. He is a man that's losing the plot. It's as simple as that. He is a man that's losing the plot. And maybe he has run his course. Maybe he is running out of time. Maybe he is out of time. Bowyer keeps saying that he always takes the brunt of the criticism. At the end of the day, it's a results-driven business. And 9th place in League One, 5 points off the top 6, with everyone above us having games in hand. 22 conceded in our last 8 home games, averaging just under 3 goals conceded at home in those games. Dropping 6 points to bottom of the league. Having the worst run of form at home ever in the club's history, to my understanding. And you saying that we've got a squad good enough to finish top 2, saying that top 6, anything other than that, is a failure of a season, to then saying that we're overachieving and that this is where I expected us to be. It really does not look good for you. It really does not look good for you. And if I was Thomas Sandgaard right now, I'd be alarmed. I'd be concerned with what's going on. I think now it's a matter of what the board wants to do and what Sandgaard wants to do. And whether our current form matches the ambition that we had. Listening to a recent podcast that Sandgaard did, he said top 2 is probably out of reach. We'll probably get playoffs. Worst case scenario, we go up next season. In all honesty, I would be concerned with Bowyer and what's happening right now. I really would be. I'm not fully Bowyer out yet. I'm not entirely, absolutely Bowyer. He's got to go. No, I'm not completely all the way. But it has to be considered. It's as simple as that. It has to be at this point. Dropping 6 points against bottom of the league is unacceptable for a club like us that's supposed to be fighting for promotion. I think after yesterday's game, there's only so much that we can take and there's only so much that we can defend and accept at this club anymore. The recent performances have been unacceptable. Bowyer has done wrong this season. We have to admit that. And now, he is in his position and his future of the club is on the thinnest ice it has ever been. And there has never been so much criticism and hatred towards Bowyer ever from the Charlton fan base. I don't really see where it gets better, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's the end of this match reaction. Thank you for watching another one of my match reactions. I'd appreciate it if you left a like and subscribed if you're new around here. From the last time I checked, I am 30 odd subs away from 2,800 subs, so if we could get to that very soon, that'd be awesome. Where do you stand? Where do you stand with this? Can you defend this much longer? People are starting to see it now. They're starting to sway. And they're starting to see that maybe Bowyer isn't the man for us anymore, and I'm one of them. There's only so much I can defend. And quite frankly, like I said earlier, at this point it's borderline impossible to defend it. Bowyer, you're running out of time to fix this. And if you can't fix this and these results continue, I can't really complain if you're sacked at the end of this month. And that's the truth. Thanks for watching. This has been Tyler Ronaldson. Have a nice day. And I'll see you all later. Take it easy. Stay safe. And I'll see you all later.